Hello seniors! Welcome to the online novel project. In this tutorial, I'm going to take you through a finished online novel project. I'm going to sort of do a little tour with you through a student's completed website so that you can see what the end result looks like before you actually take a look at the assignment itself. First of all, I also wanted you to know that we've got a collection of resources here on the Novel Project webpage. I've linked to that on your Google Classroom, so you can always find that. And if you scroll down, you can see there are resources here that might be helpful. If you want some inspiration, I definitely suggest looking at student examples from last year or even the Novel Project Awards. And I think there's a link to Novel Project Awards. There we go, right here. And those can be pretty inspiring. For now, though, let's take a look at a sample online novel project. I am going to click on that, and it brings us to this, From Covered Wagons to Spaceships, The Frontier in American Literature. This student chose to write about the frontier, and as you can see from the home page of their completed website, they have 4 texts, and the home page is going to begin with a title that captures the novel project as a whole. It's going to provide images and titles of all 4 texts, and then a quick little introduction of the project that includes a summary of Chapter 1 and a summary of Chapter 2. At the very bottom of the home page, the student has also chosen to include a neat piece of interactive media. If you click on the map, you can scroll through the progress of the American frontier, and that kind of captures the spirit of their topic as a whole. Before we move on, I wanted you to take a look up in the right corner here and see all of the different elements of the website. There's a home page that serves as an introduction to the project, but the main elements of the project are Chapter 1, where you will analyze 2 texts, and Chapter 2, where you will analyze 2 other texts. There is also a short conclusion to wrap things up. Let's take a look at Chapter 1, see what that looks like. So in Chapter 1, the student chose to pair My Antonia with Beloved, and this page begins with its own title, Dispelling the Lone Ranger Myth to Female Frontier Communities. And then when you scroll down, you get to the analysis itself. You will be writing traditional literary analysis, although it will be shorter than in the traditional novel project because you'll also be creating some media. But if you click on this link, you can see that it takes you to a good old-fashioned literary analysis. Going back to Chapter 1, we scroll down to the bottom of the page and we find a piece of media that the student has created to fit Chapter 1. In this case, they put together a Google tour of My Antonia. It happens to be a book in which setting and place is very important, so it lends itself to this kind of platform. The Google Tour Builder is a really easy to use platform, and so if your novel also seems to make place or setting something important to the themes or characters, this is a great option. It allows you to kind of trace the action or a character's own roots within a novel, adding in places and even little bits of analysis. Okay, going back to the website, I'm going to now click on Chapter 2, and it follows the same format. We've got a new title just for this chapter, Frontier Spirit in the Apollo Age. We see the 2 texts under study. We have got a quick little intro to the chapter, as well as a link to the Google Doc in which the analysis resides. And then at the very bottom of the page, we have a second piece of student-generated media. In this case, the student chose to use Voyant Tools, which is a really cool online tool that allows you to do text analysis. You can upload text or several texts and then do word searches and look for patterns and try to find meaning within those patterns. Finally, there's the conclusion. The conclusion is very brief. It wraps everything up. It's got an image. This would also be a place that you could include some cool multimedia that you found online. But in terms of the most basic outline of the project, you've got all of them right here in this sample site. The home page that wraps everything up and introduces it, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and then a conclusion. I do encourage you to take a look at some of the examples that students did last year. I called them online pioneers because they were the first to do the online version. And you can see that this basic structure works well just as it is, but you can also interpret it in your own way, depending upon your topic and your own talents and interests.